Here we are today at Casey Gray Studios to talk about how to upcycle vintage finds.
In this video, we're going to tell you how to find the vintage piece of your dreams. Then we're going to talk about how to restore.
Then the fun part, we're going to style and make them pretty.
In the end, we're also going to be showing some of our favorite paint colors and hardware selections so you can get the look.
Mixing old and new is one of our favorite ways to make your home or your space really feel unique to you.
Right.
We get asked a lot, like, hey, I have this piece that was passed down from my Aunt Tilly. What the heck do I do with it? And today we're going to tell you how you can repurpose furniture that you were handed down, or maybe you really like the look of antique furniture, but it's a little too antique for your modern space. What the heck do you do with it? We've got you.
In this video, we're going to teach you how to use a piece you might already have, find a new piece or a vintage piece and repurpose it to make it work for your aesthetic in your home, and then we're gonna style it, so stay tuned.
Meet Casey from Casey Gray Studios, the mastermind behind all of this gorgeous furniture.
Yes, I try anyway. So what we do is we rescue vintage pieces that are literally ready for the dumpster. We restore them and change often their hardware and the color so you as the consumer can reclaim them as your own.
So it's emotional leaving these pieces. How many pieces have you thought of late at night that you're like, oh, I should have hung on to that one?
A lot of them.
I used to go visit Boots at Nordstrom's
Yes.
because I loved them, but I wasn't sure I wanted to buy them yet.
Yeah.
I have a customer that comes here regularly, and I feel like she's visiting pieces, trying to like make the decision before she
Commits.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes high gloss can be scary for people, but
Yes, I have emotional attachment to all of them, which is why we give them all names. The guys even participate in naming. It's fun.
So our audience would say, hey, I really like the look of these. I can't afford to buy one, so I want to do one myself. But how do I know if this vintage piece is worth restoring? Like, how do I know that this style will look okay in my space? Like, what advice would you give them?
It's worth it if it means something to you and you think it's beautiful.
And if it's scale, if it fits your space, scales everything. If you've
totally.
got a great sideboard that you don't like the look of, but it's a good size for the space, at least try it.
Yeah. You can't get a high gloss finish like this in your garage.
No.
Believe me, I tried. You can't, but you can find furniture painters all over the country.
So Casey, tell us a little bit about, let's say you get a piece of furniture that has a huge chip in it and you have a lot of repair to do. Do you bondo? Do you like repair with wood, or what do you do?
You do a variety of things depending on where it is on the piece. Almost everything we get is chipped beyond.
You can imagine. Yeah.
So we do use a lot of bondo. We also do a process where we grain fill all of the grain.
Wow, yes.
Frosting the whole piece.
Yes.
So there is no grain left, because if you've got a scratch going across it, you don't peep.
You're gonna see it through the painting process.
You're flossing.
You're flossing. What are you doing though?
Grain's exposed, and you can see every little notch between every little line of.
No grain.
So always stand it away. But if I was to use a flat thing, it would flat facets.
Oh, yeah.
Since what we're doing is really sculpting a reflection, you would see every.
Yeah, that is one of the things with high gloss is you see everything.
Yeah. Don't the coats
Level it out. In the end, we probably are at about 10 coats when we're done with everything. It doesn't cover everything. It really doesn't.
So tell us about finding pieces. What are 3 ways you find pieces?
Facebook Marketplace for sure.
Yes.
Estate sales for sure. This piece is an example of 1, a rare find, and 2, we got it for free. Moving companies sometimes have excess furniture that the people don't want in their new home.
And what drew you to it?
Faux bamboo pieces are highly popular across the country. I knew this would be valuable. There are a few things on here that I will change for sure. This chicken wire, although it's original, I will take that out. We will preserve the glass. Up here, I am debating whether to take this whole kind of ladder thing off. Knobs at the top, I would bring down and paint them gold so they would look bright. And I might also put real handles here, since these are all just keyholes.
Yeah, is this something that you would or would not paint?
For sure. No one wants super dark wood unless it's in really good condition.
So it gives you the opportunity to fill in stuff like that and paint it, which is great. Well, we can't wait to see what it looks like.
Can't wait. So this is a good example of a piece to not shy away from.
Right. All of these scratches and dings we will fill in, dead flat, we like to say. Even the dirty parts of inside drawers, and get rid of all of that.
I think if I saw this piece, I would be intimidated by the fact of like, how do I get these off without damaging? I mean, I can see screws behind. Do they generally come off pretty easily? And is there a big bikini line around it and you have to do a ton of repair?
Sometimes we do. We will polish this up.
So you'll take all the hardware off, polish it.
Yep, and put it back on. Sometimes there are indentations from a piece like this and we can repair all of that.
Oh,
So this is our clean room. And this piece in particular is an example of replacing the legs. So this is a 1930s piece, and it's a bow front dresser, but it's also
So pretty.
top, and it's a desk.
Well, what were the legs before?
It had these black metal,
Pieces of garbage.
yeah. So these I had shipped from Europe.
Shipped from Europe. Couldn't we get anything like that in the U.S.?
Not from the company I wanted.
Okay.
Not the quality, so yes.
So this is what you would call like a secretary's desk, right?
Yeah, the front will actually look like
It's
a dresser.
so pretty.
With a handle, it pulls.
Oh, okay.
So we wanted a surprise pop inside. This is Picture Perfect from Benjamin Moore. And then the paper inside the drawers.
So cute.
Do wallpaper in a lot of drawers depending on the condition. If the condition is quite bad and there's a lot of staining, we will definitely paper them. If it's in really good condition, we'll just wax it and recondition the wood, and they look.
So how long does it take for this paint to dry? You put one coat on, how long does it take to dry?
So with lacquer, it takes about 7 to 10 minutes for a coat to dry, which is why professionals,
It's pretty fast.
because you can spray it with paint, it's 24 hours.
Yeah.
Coat. We do about 10 coats, so we'll probably do 3 primer, 3 color, and 3 top coat before then we buff everything like you buff a car. So it's a lot of layers, and it would take weeks if you had to wait
Paint. Yeah.
24 hours.
Right. What product do you use and how you get the sheen that we call high gloss?
So you cannot get a high gloss finish like this in paint at all. You can't buff paint.
And we're using a fairly innovative water-based product that I have shipped in. I know a lot of designers out there and consumers think that water-based isn't a thing.
For lacquer,
It's a thing.
Do not trust the people that say that solvent-based is the only way to go. It's not true.
why do you do water and not oil?
what the real answer?
Yeah.
I had brain surgery 5 years ago for something that was incredibly rare, and I will not have anything toxic in this place. I have chronic migraines, and so we will not do
Here to that.
toxic. It also eliminates all of the additional costs to create the protective measures and the fire.
Oh, yeah, for the oil.
So this is incredibly flammable. So we don't have to do any of that.
Yeah, that's great.
That's really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Some of our favorite colors.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one that I would love to have done for our cabin, Green Essex by Benjamin Moore. It's such a rich, beautiful hunter green color.
Yes.
What about you, Teal?
The one I just did in my library or office. Let's settle down. It's not a library. Shenanigans or Shenandoah.
What color is that? Is that a blue?
It's a green blue Shenandoah.
Another color that I love, it's Pink Cup by Farrow and Ball. It's such a beautiful pink color.
I think color names matter for sure.
Do you sell your pieces including their name and their color name?
In all of my listings, it says the dimensions and who the maker is, if it's significant, color and the color number.
How do you think about hardware? Where do you get your hardware from? How do you think about what finish, what size?
Partially it depends on the piece. Some pieces are very traditional and they're popular, just what they look like today. So we will leave the original hardware other than polishing it. As far as where I find hardware, everywhere. I'm a big fan of Modern Matter in particular. Their hardware is beautiful.
So hardware is a thing. It's the jewelry of the piece. Tell us about one of your latest and greatest challenges here.
So this piece in particular has very long drawer in the middle and sets of 3 smaller ones on either side. I really wanted to do something angular as well.
Oh, okay.
So we have 2 sizes of this piece. This is fretwork from Modern Matter. And we could do a big piece here in the middle and small ones over here. Or
Really pretty.
actually do 2 here as well and just have it be all consistent scale.
Well, I'm always bigger is better. Yeah.
Go big.
I would just be concerned that the guides were in good condition.
Oh yeah.
In order for that pull to be
Yes.
not teeter-tottery. What would you do, Wendy?
And I would do the big one in the center and the small ones on the right and on the left.
We might land there.
Maybe.
You can see if it's listed in a week or so.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I'll let you guys know.
So here we have this beautiful green dresser. It's kind of short and wide. And so we paired it with Catherine Freshly piece of art that is also short and wide. So you can see the scale of the dresser to the art is working really well for us. And so we wanted to keep the styling props low so the art is not being blocked by what we have here on the table. So when you're trying to figure out what color to pair with your dresser or your art, think about the color wheel. You can Google search online color wheel, and you take the opposite color on the wheel from what's being featured here. So we have pulled from the blue and the green the opposite colors, which are pink and orange. By bringing these bright colors in, the oranges and the pinks, we're actually letting this dresser be the star of the show. Because these are pink and orange, we wanted to feature a little bit more of that color coming through here with some trays that are for functional use.
The things that I like to do is when you have a focal point, like a really beautiful painting, and you have a bold piece, find something that height-wise can bridge the two. And so they feel like one. There's not this big gap right here.
Yeah, I love that.
This also brings out the gold in here and the gold in the hardware.
Yeah, those are beautiful. And we could even take the trays out if you didn't need them for functional use, and you could just have these featured on the dresser with your books.
Either a plant here or a crystal here or something. Bridge the gap so it looks like one uniform.
Thinking about mixing old and new in your space doesn't have to be with a big piece of furniture and a big piece of art. We know those are more expensive. Think about it with your styling props like books. You can have an old book with a new book, and that will give you the same sort of look and feel that makes your space feel more lived in and unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. This piece alone could be more dated piece. It's updated, of course, by the gorgeous coloring and the lacquering and the tassels, but it's all about styling to bring it to contemporary.
Yeah, and so we've paired it with this contemporary piece of art. It looks gorgeous, especially in the colorway where you have the bright pink tying in with the bright pink here and the lighter pink and the lighter pink here.
I might add a few things, you guys. These are vintage ashtrays. They're great for like keys and earrings and whatever.
What's it like if we do a larger piece here? I love the mixing of textures and materials. Like here you have a really shiny gloss, and then you have this beautiful handmade.
It's an earthy vibe to it, which I think always grounds things. And this is what we talk about a lot, mixing and matching. Have the courage, try things out. Pieces glossy. These are kind of a jewelry-esque feel. That's grounding. And then we have our Catherine Freshly art that's contemporary and kind of a pop, youthful vibe.
A tip that we have for you at home is to use the cabinet seam as your guide to right align or left align some of your objects that you use for styling. In 2024, if you are not thinking about repurposing furniture and using vintage pieces, you are late to the party. At Teal & Scott, we celebrate sustainability and mixing vintage pieces with new pieces, and we hope this video inspired you to do that in your own space at home.
Thank you for watching today. We hope you feel inspired and courageous enough to see a vintage piece out there and know how to turn it around and help it fit your aesthetic.
Please subscribe, share with your friends, follow our blog, all the things. Thanks for joining. Your necklace says yes.
Now,
That is incredible.
and you know what the other side says? No thanks.
No thanks. Yeah, that's cute.